Now, fairly bored with this, but I need to get it done. This is me doing my pretty simple slats on a park bench with a bit of texturing. Start off with default cube and with layout. Go into item properties. I've changed the dimensions. I have not yet done a Control A to set the scale. I've now done Control A and did rotation and scale, so just to show what that looks like. Rotation and scale, and that previously was not 1 and is now 1. I didn't show that part of it in the picture. These are the dimensions of a single park bench slat. It's 1.5 meters going down this way, and we've got 5 centimeters in the Y direction and 2 centimeters height. Still in object mode with the single slat selected. Go to modifier, add modifier, generate array. I'm going to want 6 of those, 6 slats to make up my park bench. And initially it does a big long line because it defaults onto the X as the 1 factor, so I'm going to make that 0, and then the Y then becomes our 1.2 factor, in fact, because that accounts for a width of 1 plank, depending on how you look at it, and 20% on top of that for the gap between planks, which gives us that. Now go into shading. To get out my diffused image, we go to add texture, image texture, plonk the dialog, which we're still not done with, say there, open, go to my preferred folder and pick the diff 4K version. Then link the color node here to the base color here, and we get some stuff. And if I zoom in, then it's okay, but it doesn't actually reflect the quality of the original of the image itself. This is the excellent quality of the floor plank. So ideally you want to achieve that. Instead, right now we've got this. Now definitely some of the unconvincing nature of this is because I've stretched it out. Basically it wasn't designed to be used in this form, but still the puzzling thing to me a little, so trying to shrink it, because it's I'm not really sure why it's like this, because this is only 1.5 meters long, but when you have it on the default cube at 2 meters as a cube and with the box effect, which doesn't really work terribly well here, then it looks terrific, but not now. So we'll add in a couple more nodes. Going to add in a input node of texture coordinate, and that can go there, and we're going to add in a vector node of mapping just there, and then generated is going to attach to vector, and vector is going to go to vector, and now we've got this, and we are still kind of no better off, so we're going to play with some values. So note these values currently, and we'll be changing some of them. First off, I'll change box to flat, and that's a bit better in the when looking down, and that's really the bit I'm most concerned about. That needs to be, if nothing else is right, that needs to be right. Next thing I will alter is the the rotation in the z-axis. I'm going to basically spin it around to see if it looks better that way. And what have we got? So yeah, it kind of looks like melamine or something at the moment. So still not good enough there really. The next thing, and I say this is all me trying and failing with different values. Next thing is scaling to 2.4, and again, so this is intriguing because I had thought I had it cracked a bit better than this, but evidently not. Right, now bearing in mind that this is our current state of play with the X at a scale of 2.4 and 1 and 1, I'm now going to change Y to 0.1 and watch the impact. So the top level now is pretty darn good. It's very good. Couldn't be happier. But then playing with these other values, so we've got 0.1 there, so that on the y-axis, does that stack up? Well, it kind of is what it is, but let's just try. So we've tried 0.1, we try 1, that achieves that, which is not great. We'll try 2, also not great. So sorry, let's go back to 0.1 on this and 0.1 on the Z. No obvious change. And finally I'm going to try, I'm now just playing around, 5 on this, which is, if I again zoom in, because we're not quite done with this, but that, because I haven't added any, the normal isn't there, the roughage isn't there, but that for the thing that actually matters a lot to me, that looks pretty good. What happens if I go to box? Switches around the other way, which is fair enough. And we've even got the screw holes there, which looks terrific. But it's the wrong way round. So in principle, if I took off the Z rotation of 90 degrees, which it looks as though it's applied, but not now what I want, I can't win. Because so that looks good, but now we've got those blocks there. But let's remember what the most important thing to me is, and that's getting this kind of detail. That's great. That is great, and maybe I should just say, don't worry about it. If, however, because I can't help myself but worry about it, so the length is on the x-axis. So what does that mean in terms of length is on the x-axis? Let's pause and think. You know what? I think I'm going to cut my losses here and leave it like that. So I'm going to pronounce that good enough.